Hey book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books and Me, and I hope you had an awesome Christmas or holiday period. And today I'm here to do my 2018 in review, my wrap up and look back on the year. I've actually just put up a blog post called 2018 in review. It's got all of these questions plus a whole bunch more. These are from Perpetual Page Turner's year in review question tag thingy that she puts out every year, and I love doing it. It's because it's filled with really great questions, and so I picked some out to talk about in this video. But if you want to know like my big major wrap up of the year and a look back at everything, then go check out that blog post. It'll be in the top line of the description. So without further ado, let's go. So starting off with some reading statistics. So the number of books I read is 25. I kind of wanted it to be more, but that's okay. I only reread one book this year, technically probably two, but because I was rereading Akamath, but I never actually finished rereading it. Like I got, or did I? Technically with Akamath, I wasn't 100% rereading it because I was just skimming through bits of it. Yeah, anyway. So the number of pages I read was 6,351, which sounds like a lot, but compared to previous years it's not that many, but I'm still really happy with it. It's mainly because of all the books I read, they were only like 200 to 300 pages long, so they don't really add up that well. My most read genre was contemporary romance. Literally the only thing I read this year was contemporary romance. I think there was like 2 graphic novels and 2 fantasies, and that was really it. The number of authors I read was 13, which is very, very unlucky, but it could have been more, but I read a lot of books by the same authors. New to me authors though was 7, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize it was that many. I completed 1 series, technically 2. Oh, it's just started reading. Technically 2, but there's still like an extra spin-off book, so I didn't really want to count it. But yeah, so I completed 1 series, but I started 4. But to be fair, the reason why I haven't finished all those series is because like the first book in the series just came out this year, so not all the books are technically out yet. This is looking at the best in books. So the best book you read in 2018. There's 2 for this one. The first one is As She Fades by Abby Kleins. This was such a beautiful, beautiful book and I loved it so much. And the second is a more recent read, and that is Tequila Tequila by Emma Hart. This was a really, really fun one. And honestly, I just had to put one of Emma's books in my favorite as a best book because I've loved all her stuff this year. And Tequila Tequila is definitely one of my favorite. Book you were excited for, but it kind of sucked. That would have to be Losing the Field by Abby Kleins. It's the 4th book in the Field Party series. I love Abby and I enjoyed most of her books. They've been between 4 and 5 star reads. One is a 3.5 star read, or is it a 3 star read? No, I think I've bumped it down to a 3 star read. But we don't talk about that one. This, I was so excited for Losing the Field. The first 3 books were really, really fun and I really, really enjoyed them. So I was excited to get back to Lawton High and read about these new characters, because the first 3 books in the series are kind of like the first trilogy of a planned 9-book series. The first 3 books are following the then seniors of Lawton High. They graduated at the end of the 3rd book, so then this 4th book picks up in the new senior year. And these characters have sort of been introduced to us before, but not a lot, so I was excited to learn about them. This book's had so much potential and it just kind of sucked. There were things that really let it down. I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I do kind of feel like I might bump it back down to 3 though. It wasn't what I was hoping. There were iffy moments in it and it just disappointed me out because I was really excited for it, and the cover for this book is gorgeous, and it kind of sucked a little bit. Most surprising book. In saying that, Abby then turned around, actually no, this book came out before Losing the Field, but As She Fades really surprised me. There was a really great plot twist in this that I didn't really see coming. Granted, I kind of read ahead a little bit and kind of knew something was happening, but had I not done that, I don't think I would have known that this was coming in the book. Abby is pretty good at doing like little twists and turns throughout her stories, but this one was, I feel like, the biggest plot twist that I've read of her books anyway. I haven't read all of her stuff yet, but this was a really big plot twist and I really, really liked it, and she wrote it really, really well because we've been so invested in these characters and relationships for like the majority of the book, and then everything just changed. But it turned out so well. I loved this so much. It was definitely the most surprising because I was just expecting it to be just a really simple like contemporary romance, you know, a little bit of drama in it, and that was it, but it turned out to be so much more. It was so good. I really recommend it. Best starter, best sequel, and best ender in a series. So best series starter, this goes to Straight Up Irish by Megan Vernon, the first book in the Murphy Brothers series. I think it's going to be a trilogy. This was so fun. This was like the second Megan Vernon book I'd read, and as soon as I saw it, I like pre-ordered it and I got it on my iPad as soon as it came out, and I literally read it in like 3 hours. It was so good. And a really great starter to the series. I have read the sequel, the second book in the series. The third one is hopefully coming out in the new year. And like the second book's really good because we also got that really great introduction for the first book. It is so good. It was a fun series. I definitely recommend it. Best sequel for this one, I'm saying A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, because it is a sequel but kind of not at the same time. Obviously it is the bridge between the original trilogy and the spin-off books. So like it's all one big series, but it was a really great sequel because of that, because it was tying up the ends of Feyre and Rhys's story, so that way they can become like side characters now in the rest of the books, and it introduced us to the perspectives we're going to see in the upcoming books as well. And I'm so excited for the next book. It's coming in 2020, which I'm a little bummed about, but I'm so excited for it because of the sneak peeks and the snippets we got in Akafaz. Oh, it was such a good sequel. I loved it. It was a really great read, and I'm very, very excited for where this series is going in the future. And then the best ender, I didn't include this technically in my series completed count, but it is kind of an ender, mainly because I didn't really finish that many series. And that is Dirty Tricks by Emma Hart. It's the 4th book in the Burke Brothers series. It is technically a 5-book series because there is like a spin-off book for the Burke Brothers sister that Emma wrote a little while after she finished the series. But this one is technically the ender because she wraps up all of the brothers' stories in this one. So in every book she did an epilogue for the stories, and then in this one she did like the epic epilogue where every brother and every couple got their own then end of series epilogue that really tied up all their stories, and I really loved that, and it was just really nice and really sweet, and I really recommend it. Best book from a genre you don't read often. This is Witches Volume 1 by Scott Snyder. I don't really read graphic novels too often. It is a genre that I want to get into. It was also a horror graphic novel, which is something that I've read even less of. Horror as a genre I do quite like within books. I haven't read a lot of that either. So definitely Witches. It was really good. It was really weird. The artwork in this was really creepy. I really recommend it. I do hope they're making a volume 2. There has been talks that they are doing a volume 2, but not much. So I'm hoping there is, because there's still so much more for this story that I'm very excited to find out about. Favorite quote. I don't really pay attention to like quotes or like passages from texts as I'm reading them, but there have been a couple that I've written down this year, and one of my favorites is the quote, "Be a lady and take no shit." It is from, I think it's from Being Brooke by Emma Hart. It's definitely an Emma Hart book. I'm pretty sure it's Being Brooke. But I just love that. I think our character Brooke talks about how her mum always says she needs to be a lady but also take no shit, that you can, you know, I just really like it. It's a really good message that you can still be prim, like not necessarily prim and proper, but you can still be like a lady, but you can still stand up and take no shit and just, you know, yeah, I just really liked that quote. So, shortest and longest reads. The shortest book was The Battle of Thermopylae and the 300, Battle of Thermopylae, the 300 Spartans and the citizen soldiers who fought with them. I think that's the full title of the book, from In 60 Learning. This was a massive 37 pages long. The idea of In 60 Learning is that you're able to read or listen to books in 60 minutes. So that's why it's only 37 pages long. It does take you actually 60 minutes. I timed myself reading this. Then the longest book was The Kissing Booth by Beth Reekles. It came in at a measly 448 pages. I was actually surprised that that was that long. I knew that a lot of the books I'd read were 200 to 300 pages long. I actually didn't realize The Kissing Booth was, you know, nearly 450 pages long. That's kind of cool. The best 2018 debut. I only read one debut novel this year, and that was To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This was really, really good, hence why it's also the best one, even though it was the only one I read this year, but it was really, really good. What book are you going to make a priority to read in 2019? I've got two for this one. The first is King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. Remember when I was so excited to get my hands on this? I actually got it 2 weeks early as well, and I barely read it. I just was in the weirdest reading slump this year, and as excited as I have been to read the book, I've just not felt like reading it. I haven't been in that reading mood. So I really want to read it in the new year because I really want to get it finished. And the other one's Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Again, another book I was so excited to get my hands on. And I didn't friggin' read it. Again, just in the weirdest reading slump. I'm hopefully going to read this in the new year so I can read Finale. Hopefully I'll do it. Most anticipated release of the new year. You guys would have seen I already put up my most anticipated releases for January to March. A lot of great books in there, but I feel like my most anticipated release for the entire year is Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff, the third and final book in the Nevernight Chronicles. Oh, I need to get my hands on this book so badly. I am so like worried and excited and anxious about this book. It's one of, because it's like the final book in the series, it's, you know, that anxious worried feeling of like, what is Jay gonna do with our favorite characters? And the bad thing is Jay just willy-nilly kills off everyone, and we know that Mia dies in the end. We learnt that in the first page of Nevernight. That is not a spoiler, people. And after everything that's happened in the first two books, and the people that may or may not be dead, and the people that may or may not be related to one another, oh, this book is going to be epic. Jay said this is the biggest book yet. It's like massive. I'm so excited. I need this. I'm like bummed that it was pushed back a year, but then also really happy because it meant Jay could like make it even more epic. But I need this book now. I need it. I need to know what happens. I need to finish this series. Oh, it's going to be so good. If you haven't read the Nevernight books yet, get on it for when Dark Dawn comes out. You've got to read these books. You need to. There are a bunch more questions that I answered on my blog post. Go check it out if you want to know more about my reading year and the future of my reading and my blogging. Plus there was a whole section on your bookish and blogging life that I didn't actually talk about in this video. If you want to answer any of these questions, feel free to. Definitely go check out the blog post and maybe get the questions from the blog post to answer, or just answer them in the comments below. Whatever. I'd love to know about your reading year. If you've got a blog post or a video up that's sort of similar to this, similar in essence, let me know because I'd love to check it out. And yeah, I hope you guys had a fantastic reading year. My reading year wasn't exactly what I hoped it would be, but I hope that next year I'm going to kick butt. I'm going to read some amazing books and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to do really great with blogging and booktube and reading and reviewing. So yeah, hope you guys had an awesome 2018, and I will see you guys in 2019. Actually, in saying that, I think this is 2019, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is going up on the 1st. I don't even know. I hope you had an awesome 2018, and that 2019 is going to be awesome. Welcome to 2019, everyone. Oh God. Bye.